The last prayer to learn here on the sheet, which again includes just about all of the prayers that we need to recite the Dominican Rosary in Latin, would be the Salve Regina. To fit this on the page, I couldn't space it as much as the other prayers, so hopefully this won't be too confusing. You can see the letters are closely packed together. But let's walk through the Salve Regina. We see those opening words. And we'll see that everything is the same. We just focus on one syllable at a time, just a handful of rules to pay attention to, and with some practice, it's all quite easy. Many of the vocabulary terms are used again from one prayer to another, so there's not too much new stuff to learn, but by reciting it regularly and thinking about it as you recite it, you'll eventually master it, both the pronunciation and the understanding. And the goal is to get yourself to a point where you can recite the prayers and understand them in Latin without any need to translate at all. So with some study and practice, that's quite easy when it's something like praying the Rosary, which we do daily and repeat so often. So let's take a look at all the details of the Salve Regina. So Salve is a greeting like Ave in the Ave Maria. Salve Regina. Salve Regina. Hail, Queen. Hail, O Queen. And in English, this is translated as Hail, Holy Queen. Salve Regina. Notice that the G here is followed by the sound E, so it's read with that soft G sound. Salve Regina. Regina. Mater misericordiae, misericordiae. Hail, Holy Queen, but literally, Hail, O Queen. Mater, Mother, misericordiae, of mercy. Misericordiae, Mother of mercy. Vita, vita, life. Dulcedo, dulcedo, sweetness. Et spes, and hope, space. Nostra, our. So it's life, sweetness, and hope, our, nostra. Salve, and the greeting is repeated at the end, salve. Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo et spes nostra. Salve. Ad te clamamus. Ad te clamamus. To you we cry, or we shout. To you we cry. Exules, 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 or exiles. Filii, filii Eve. Exules filii Eve. Exiles, sons of Eve, or exiled sons of Eve. Ad te suspiramus, ad te suspiramus. To you we sigh. Suspiramus, we sigh. Gementes, gementes. Notice the J sound, gementes. Mourning, gementes. Et flentes, flentes, weeping. Gementes et flentes, mourning and weeping. In hac lacrimarum valle. In hac lacrimarum valle. In this of tears valley. In this of tears lacrimarum valle, valley. In this valley of tears in English, but in Latin it's in this of tears valley. Ea, ergo, advocata nostra. We then read, Ea, ergo, advocata nostra. Ella, ergo, advocata nostra. This word ella is an expression, I would say, of this verb suspiramus. To you we sigh. We sigh, and we sigh ea, which means come, or it's almost like saying, hey, come to us, help us. Ea, ergo, therefore. Advocata nostra, advocata, advocate. Nostra, our. Come, our advocate, our helper. Illos, those. Tuos, your. Misericordes, merciful. Oculos, eyes. Ad nos, to us. Converte, turn. Those, your merciful eyes to us. Illos, tuos, misericordes oculos ad nos converte. Et Jesum, notice the endings, Jesum, et Jesum benedictum fructum ventris tui, and Jesus, benedictum, blessed, fructum, fruit, ventris, of the womb, your, tui, nobis, to us, post, after, hoc, this, exilium, this exile, to us, after this exile. Notice the relation between exilium and exules. After this exilium, after this exile, ostende, show, nobis, to us, post hoc exilium, after this exile, show. O clemens, O merciful, O pia, O pious, O dulcis, O sweet, Virgo, Virgin, Virgo, Maria, Mary. So to read through this one time, now that we've got an idea about all of the pronunciation issues, let's just read through this. Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita, dulcedo et spes nostra, salve. Ad te clamamus, exules filii Eve. Ad te suspiramus, gementes et flentes in hac lacrimarum valle. Ea, ergo, advocata nostra, illos tuos misericordes oculos ad nos converte, et Jesum benedictum fructum ventris tui, nobis, post hoc exilium ostende, O clemens, O pia, O dulcis, Virgo, Maria. Now, the note down here says, note the differences in the endings between the Ave Maria and the Salve Regina. Note the differences in the endings because, again, students or anyone who's reading or reciting Latin who doesn't know the grammar doesn't know to pay attention to these details. And so I want to just make you aware of them. When we see this at the end of the Salve Regina, we see Jesum benedictum fructum ventris tui. Notice the endings are M's. Jesum benedictum fructum. If we look back up to the Ave Maria, we see benedictus fructus. So benedictus, fructus, and then we see Jesus. We see S's at the end of these words in the Ave Maria. In the Salve Regina, we see M's. Jesum, benedictum, fructum. And the reason why is because in the Salve Regina here, Jesus, the blessed fruit of your womb, is the object of the verb ostende. Show to us Jesus, the fruit of your womb. Show Jesus to us. Jesus is the object of the verb. So in grammar, this is the accusative case. You'll see the endings are in ems, showing that Jesus, the blessed fruit of Mary's womb, is the object of the verb. Show to us Jesus, Jesum. But in the Ave Maria, we say, blessed are you, benedicta, referring to Mary, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui Jesus. Jesus here is a subject, so it's in the nominative case, ends in us. So in the Ave, you've got s's at the ends of these words, benedictus, fructus, Jesus. In the Salve Regina, you've got m's, Jesum, benedictum, fructum. Little things like that are hard for those new to Latin to pay attention to and catch, but that's why I want to draw your attention to those little differences. That's why I put these notes on the page, just for you to pay attention to those things as you recite the prayers to make sure you get them right. I can tell you, as long as I've been reading Latin and praying Latin, I still mess up sometimes between the sign of the cross and the Gloria Patri and get myself confused, so it's normal, but we should at least be aware of them so we can be a little more careful when we say our prayers. So with this video, we've gone through all of the prayers that we need to recite the Dominican Rosary in Latin. We've gone through and seen, and all I've wanted to do is show you that those rules that I gave you, they apply to everything we see in these prayers, that it really is that simple. It's just a matter of us taking our time to study, to learn to pronounce the words and the syllables accurately, to be patient and do it slowly, and then by repetition, become more and more comfortable with all the details, getting all the details right, until we can recite these prayers from memory at full speed with full understanding. That should be the goal. And with some practice, you should be able to do that. And as I said, it was my hope that presenting these rules and these prayers and making a few videos, I could help to make that a little easier for you. So anyway, if there's anything else I can help with, just let me know. I hope that this is helpful. I've explained in one of the other videos how to practice translating these Latin prayers or anything that you read in Latin by copying out the Latin, skipping a line after each line of Latin text, and then just writing the English translation of each Latin word in order and getting used to thinking about Latin in that way. That's an ancient translation method that was used to learn the language that goes all the way back to Cicero in ancient Rome, who taught the same method for Romans who wanted to learn Greek. He taught them to just write out the Greek, then translate each Greek word into Latin, and that's really the best way to learn the languages. I do those exercises with my students every single day in the Classical Liberal Arts Academy. So if you want to practice learning the meaning of the prayers so you can recite them not only accurately but with understanding, you should just take some time in your study as a Dominican. You should take some time to study the prayers so that your prayer life can improve and you can pray with understanding as a result of some study. So if you have any questions about things like that or translations, I'm happy to help. Just let me know. I hope that was helpful. God bless.